Are you wondering if Hayden, Idaho is a good place to live? Well, stick around. I'm gonna tell you all about it. Hey, if this is your first time to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and tap the notifications bell so you can stay up to date on all of our latest content. Our real estate team gets calls, texts, emails every single day from people like you trying to learn more about North Idaho. So if you're thinking about making that move here right now, 12 months from now, it doesn't matter. Give us a call, text, email. Let's get that conversation started. All right, we are sitting here at Hayden Lake Marina. You got to check out the boathouse. It's a cool little restaurant right here as well. Beautiful spot. So Hayden, even though it's very close, it sits right next to Coeur d'Alene. It is a much different vibe. The population's a lot smaller. I think currently it's about 16,900 for the town of Hayden. I'm going to include Hayden Lake in this as we're videoing because it's its own little pocket. It's very small. It's kind of enveloped within Hayden, sits right on the lake itself. So when I'm talking about Hayden, I'm going to include both of those. But yeah, population is about 16,900. We're 7 miles from downtown Hayden to downtown Coeur d'Alene, so they're very close. It's probably about a 10 to 15 minute drive. Spokane International Airport's gonna be about 60 minutes from Hayden itself. So that kind of gives you a reference of where we're located, just north of Coeur d'Alene. It's its own beautiful lake. This lake is really big as well. I mean, it's not nearly as big as Coeur d'Alene, but it's I think it's about 40 miles of shoreline all the way around it. So it's a large lake. You can boat on it. You can do all the activities on it that you'd want. And it just has a little bit less public access than Coeur d'Alene does. But that's kind of what it keeps it a sleepy, small town. I think that's the appeal for a lot of people. All right, we can't talk about things to do in Hayden, Idaho without talking about Triple Play. They're right off of 95 in Hayden. They've got tons of stuff to do with the family. It's pretty cool. Indoor arcade. I think they have laser tag. Then outside they've got go-karts, a giant zip line, mini golf, and then they've got Raptor Reef, which is an indoor water park. So there is a ton to do here. There's also a hotel attached to it. So if you're coming from out of town, you can stay at that hotel. The kids have a lot to do. If you're like me, you don't like crowds. So admittedly, I don't really come here, but when grandma's in town, she takes the kids and they all go and have a blast over there. So definitely check that out if you're coming into Hayden. I think it's a huge benefit to have this, especially during those long winter months. There's something to do inside and everybody loves that. All right, on to the next. All right, hey, we can't talk about things to do in Hayden without talking about Honeysuckle Beach. This is one of only 2 public accesses on Hayden Lake. The other one's on the north end of the lake. That's Sportsman's Access. This one's built for swimming. Killer beach, beautiful swim area, and we've got a boat launch right here behind me as well. So you got all your bases covered right here, and this is like minutes from downtown Hayden. It's a perfect spot. So touching on that, the overall vibe of Hayden, how it's different than Coeur d'Alene or Post Falls. It's a smaller town, super patriotic. I mean, the great 4th of July parade, lots of stuff going on downtown, very family friendly, also friendly to retirees. So you get a good mixture of demographics here in Hayden. Median home price, and this is probably the sticking point for a lot of people, is it's not cheap. I mean, Post Falls is going to be is going to be cheaper to get into a home for sure. Coeur d'Alene, yes, but Hayden's like on the top end of that, and I think it's partly because it's geographically limited. It's a small population. A lot of these homes sit around the lake, and they obviously go for a higher price point. So that median home price is sitting about $520,000 right now. It's 2026, and rental income, or rentals, so median rental price is in that mid 2000s. Obviously, things can go up and down from there. Same with home prices; they can go into the many millions if you're on the lake, or you end up on, you know, a large acreage property on the north side of the lake. So just keep that in mind. I'd say, you know, realistically, for a family moving here into one of the new construction homes, of which there are several builders doing those now, you're probably going to start in the low 500s as a baseline. There's not much else to find below that. So I think that prices a lot of people out of this area. But, you know, if you're looking for, you know, maybe you're retiring, you're coming here with a good chunk of money, and this slow, quiet pace of life appeals to you, then personally, I would pick Hayden. If I could choose, if I could afford to live on the water and I could pick and choose, I would live on Hayden Lake personally. It's just a quieter lake. It's still deep, very clear water. It's just absolutely stunning. And then you've got the nice mountains around it. So there's a lot going on here to check out. And then if you get onto the north side of Hayden Lake, take Lancaster Road out, you can get onto National Forest land. You can recreate all the way to Montana on all that, side-by-sides, four-wheelers, hiking, hunting, fishing, anything you can do, it's out there. There's several good spots to pull over and shoot, so you can, you know, it's the Hayden Creek shooting range. If you're looking at GPS on a map, it's just a big dirt field. You can do whatever you want in there. Just don't leave trash there, don't be that guy. But great place to go shoot as well. So it's really nice to have all of this access to this, so much to do in such a small little town, you know, but then you've still got a Walmart in town, you've got some big box stores right there, and you're minutes to downtown Coeur d'Alene with all the great restaurants as well. Did you know that Hayden Lake Country Club is Idaho's first 18-hole golf course? I did not know that either, but I just found that out today. Kind of interesting little fact. It's been here since like 1912, and it's right here behind me. So Hayden is actually a really good golf community. You've got Hayden Lake Country Club and then Avondale Golf Course, both right here. They're pretty much next to each other. I'll get some B-roll of that so you guys can see it. But Hayden Lake Country Club, the clubhouse sits right on the water. They've got, you know, boat slips behind it. It's absolutely beautiful. So, you know, if you're an avid golfer, this place will be a great place to end up, where you can take advantage of all of these things, you know, have the lake right here and do your golf right here as well. So definitely a place to check out. We'll cruise through here so you guys can see what it really looks like, because this whole area is absolutely beautiful. North Idaho Arms is a proud sponsor of this podcast. North Idaho Arms is a locally owned full-service gun store in Post Falls, Idaho, founded under one guiding principle. They are unapologetically pro 2A. The owner, BZ, is a friend of ours and is a 2A rights absolutist. North Idaho Arms throws a flaming middle finger to all unconstitutional gun laws. Handguns, rifles, suppressors, magazines, ammo, complicated moves, estate transaction, BZ does it all. And yes, you can purchase some of these items if you're a Washington resident. Go see BZ at North Idaho Arms, Post Falls, Idaho. All right, this is Avondale Lake. Check this place out. So Avondale is a very small little lake. You can pretty much see the far end of it up there. And it's really just for like kayaks, paddleboards, things like that. Probably wouldn't want to swim in here. It gets pretty warm in the summertime, and that creates algae blooms, so that gets a little funky. But this is one of those lakes that would most likely freeze over if we have a good hard winter, where you could ice skate on it and have access to that. So this is right next to Avondale Golf Course. We're coming through the golf course right now. We just went through Hayden Lake Country Club, that golf course. So they're pretty much next to each other. And then as we continue to head north, we'll show you the north end of Hayden Lake and that side of things as well. But I just wanted to pop in here and kind of show you guys this little spot. It's cool. You can, it's private access only for people that live around it. So I don't know if you can get away with coming down here with your kayak or not, but it's worth checking out. People have been asking about schools in Hayden, so that is a good question. There are quite a few public schools. I always tell you guys to go to niche.com or something similar and see reviews from parents that have kids there. I do not have kids that go to that school, but if you look at niche.com, it's like A-, A-, A-. All the schools have really good ratings, probably one of the higher in the area. So something to consider if you are a young family or you've got grandkids and you want to move to Hayden. Just know that you'll be in good hands when it comes to schools, and then there are some good charter school options and private school options here as well. Hayden Canyon Creek, something like that. That's a great little charter school, worth checking that one out. And then STEM school, which is actually in Rathdrum, but it's really a fairly short drive across the valley, so that's a good school as well. Got great ratings on there. So there's plenty to do here as far as schools, and of course homeschool is always an excellent option here in Idaho. All right, so we just tracked up along the neighborhood north of Hayden Lake through the golf courses, and we came out on Lancaster. Lancaster runs east-west, and it is a major thoroughfare to get you onto the north side of Hayden Lake. And if you continue down that, that'll take you to that public land that I mentioned earlier. So Lancaster cuts right into 95, which is a major north-south thoroughfare. So that's your path out if you live on the north end of Hayden Lake. I kind of wanted to show the diversity of the properties up here, because on the north side of Lancaster is all like large acreage equestrian type residences. You know, I mean, there's some big acreage parcels out there than, 5 acres and up, and beautiful areas, some old farms, homestead type things, and then, some multi-million-dollar equestrian properties as well. As you continue down Lancaster towards 95, which is behind me there, there's a couple of new construction neighborhoods, this one being one of them. And these are where you're gonna find, your best value for new construction in Hayden. This will put you in like the low 500s and up. And there's a mixture here. You've got some townhomes, you've got single family residences, and a few different builders building in here as well. So something to consider if you're coming up here with a family and, you're in that 500 range or more. This may be kind of where you start. And we're on the north end of Hayden, so it's still easy access to everything, but this is kind of what you get. As far as crime, because people always ask about crime too, Hayden's interesting. They do not have their own police department. They are contracted with the Coeur County Sheriff's Department. And so it's kind of hard to find stats specific to Hayden. But Hayden has very low crime, just like most of North Idaho. So keep that in mind. I didn't pull up any specific statistics. It's all anecdotal, but just know that the County Sheriff's Office does a great job up here. Very low property crime, very, very low violent crime. Much below the national average, and probably on the lower side of North Idaho in general. So Hayden is a very, very safe community to live in and very family friendly. All right, let's go check out a few more things. Well, what do you think? Is Hayden the spot for you? Hopefully this tour gives you guys a good idea of what it looks like, what it feels like. You can't smell it through the camera, unfortunately, but it smells good too, I promise you that. Hayden's a really cool spot. It's not the hustle and bustle that Coeur d'Alene has become. It's more removed from everything than Post Falls. It's kind of a sleepy, quiet little town with a great sense of community. I mean, they've got the farmers market every week. Like, people get out and do things together, and I think that's the appeal for those looking to move here. You know, whether you have a family or you're retired, it checks all the boxes for everybody. Plenty of things to do outdoors, plenty of things to do indoors, tons of great businesses, restaurants, gyms, coffee shops. It's got everything you would want, and you're removed a little bit from the busyness, and I think that's the draw. But you're also close enough that you can go downtown Coeur d'Alene and be there in 20 minutes and enjoy those amenities as well, or make it to the airport in an hour. So for me, Hayden's really an ideal spot. It might be for you as well. So if you guys are thinking about making that move here and you have more questions, or you just want to get in touch with somebody on our team, shoot me a call, text, or email, and let's get that conversation started.